The reality of moving overseas. If you don't know me, my name's Emma. I live in Cyprus. Go by Emma in Cyprus on both TikTok and YouTube. I make videos occasionally about that, and I try and make content that is truthful. Whether people like that or not, I do not know. I definitely get some flack for that, depending on the channel that I'm particularly working on. Now, I just thought I'd talk today just a little bit about the realities of moving. I've been here 5 months. I'm going back home to the UK for 3 weeks. In like literally next week, so I'm away for most of September. I'm mostly going just because it's a cheap flight, if I'm honest, but there's certainly things that I'm going to do that I definitely need a break from things. About a week ago I was all ready for leaving, that's the truth, so hence the truthful video today. I'd say, I think like most people, we have this idea, I'm just going to go and live somewhere else. I'm going to move my business there. I'm going to live there. I'm just going to pick up my life here and move it there, and everything's going to be fine. I think I do this on my own. I'm on my own. I'm single. I've nobody here to help me with anything. And that it requires a good sense of resolve and strength. Now, I'm a strong person, like within reason, but this shit is still hard, right? So I've had problems with accommodation, with the visa process, which are not uncommon, and that is just part of life. But you're also trying to live your life as normal, stay healthy, stay watered, stay fed. It's not particularly cheap to live here. Finding the right place to live, getting settled, meeting the right people that you want to meet, I think is hard. And life in general, I'm trying to run a business just as I would be in the UK, but I've uprooted my whole existence to another country where I have to settle in, I have to meet new people, and I have to figure things out, whether it's local laws, whether it's accountancy stuff, legal stuff, whatever, it's still a lot to do. And there's a lot of stress, and there's like a lot of stuff hanging over you and all that kind of thing. Without getting into all the details of all those disastrous moments I've had, it's tiring. It's really, really tiring. And everything is hard. And it's that whole thing of choose your hard, isn't it? But I think, and even if I think we all have that idea, right? We all have this idea that we can just do that. And we can. But I think there's a lot of people out there who tell their story, or they are, whether they are a digital nomad, whether they are living somewhere else. Everybody wants to show the highlight reel. Everyone wants to show you how great everything is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not moving back to the UK. Even a week ago, I wasn't moving back to the UK. I was just going somewhere else and just going, right, I'm just going to do this for a little bit. There's just a lot that goes on with all those things, isn't there? And what I'm saying is that it's just not as simple as that. And I think one of the things I say to people who are wanting to do a similar thing is the problems you think you're going to have are not the ones you're going to have. We can do all the research. I did my due diligence. I did all the research online that it was possible to do to understand how to make my life easier, or whether this was a good idea, or whether this was going to fit or not. But realistically, it was a snap decision. I knew that it was possible. I moved mostly for money. I moved mostly for tax reasons. And a lot of that is because of the state of the UK. It is the state of the government. It's the state of running a business in the UK. I work remotely, solo, on my own, ran a similar business a few years ago with a team. Not doing that. It's literally a lifestyle business. It's me being an expert in my field for the last God knows how many years. And I'm just got a website, got LinkedIn, I get my clients in that way, and that's what I'm doing, and it's all perfectly feasible. But there's obviously cost savings being here from that perspective, but also other things are going to cost more as well. But that was my number one reason, but also coupled with good weather, good food, good lifestyle. Now, I've lost weight since I've been here, which was the plan. I'm definitely getting fitter, I'm healthier, I'm generally happier. But obviously I've got lots of other problems associated with being here that aren't quite fixed. My accommodation situation is up in the air. My visa thing is up in the air. There's lots of other things that need sorting out. But they will be fine and they'll be sorted. And, in a year's time when I look back, I'll be living somewhere else. Business will be good. I'll be a bit more chill and everything will be fine. But when you're in the moment of it, it is super stressful. But that is life in general. And I don't know what the point of this video is, but it's just to kind of say that I suppose the dream we have of doing whatever we want to do obviously has its problems. But once you're in the beginning stages of that, you're just moving and you're packing and all the rest of it, you don't know that. You don't know that it's going to be lonely. You don't know that it's going to be hard, like really hard. And you don't know how you're going to deal with all that or how you're going to feel. Now, lately I've been very, very overwhelmed. And I know what I'm like when I'm like that. And, you know, my only option is to cry. And I have cried a lot lately because it's stress. And we all need a break from that. And I think if you're in your own business and trying to do that and turn up every day for that, like that's enough anyway. You know, if you're solo, which I am, trying to be the finance team, social media, like marketing, sales, all those things in one, like I definitely have learned over the years, not just with this business, but previous ones as well, that I can't do everything. And that some days I'm going to be really good at one thing and some days I'm not. And that's why I try and do different things now, like do batch content or have videos in draft, and then they can be scheduled every day or every month or every week or whatever it is. And I think the same with life. You have to recognise that, like even with my visa process at the moment, you know, I'm going away, I'm going to finish it off when I get back, and I'm not going to stress about it before then, because I'd kind of been let down by people or things had gone wrong, and that's why I was kind of annoyed and unhappy and more upset than I am at the best of times, because it's a lot. It's too much for one person to deal with so many life changes all at the same time is a lot. And which is why I didn't do various things, like I didn't bring my car over because I didn't need the aggro with that as well. I haven't sorted my business status out yet because I wanted the visa thing sorted first. So yeah, there's so many things, and there's definitely things that I've done that I wish I'd not done, but it's kind of too late to redo that. And hindsight is great, but you can have one thing but then you can't have the other. So it's not like there's a better winning situation for that. It's just how it goes, right? So I don't know what the point of the video is, but it's just not everything's going to be as you think it's going to be. It's going to be harder, or it's going to be more difficult than you can possibly imagine, but it's still worth doing. I have no regrets. I'm not going back to the UK. I'm quite happy with my life plan. I wanted to change my life. I didn't want to keep living the same life over and over again, or the same year over and over again. Just working, just living at home, having all the trappings of whatever we have, materialistic things. I wanted to meet more people. I wanted to go out more. I wanted to do more things. And I'm just in the beginning of doing that. And I know I need to be settled somewhere to make more friends, to feel more at home here and stuff like that. And I think whatever you do, like, it's going to be hard. You know, I've met people since I've been here, and like they've been here like 10 years, and they're like, well, what am I, they kind of said to me, like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back home to my country and then have to start again there. And they're just like, no, I don't want to do it. So yeah, so there's good and bad in every decision you make, in every place you live. And it's not that one thing is more perfect than something else. And I think when you're here as well, you do take things for granted. You do take the sunny days for granted. And like when I go back to the UK, and that's probably a good idea that I do this maybe every 6 months, you're going to come back more grateful. You're going to be like, yeah, I'm definitely glad I am where I am. But we're all allowed down days. We're all allowed to feel like shit. We're all allowed to be negative if we want to be about our own lives. But also acknowledge that, like, not everything's great. There are many, many problems, but there are with everything, aren't there? So I don't know. Hopefully this helps someone. It's just me rambling about nothing really. But and it's obvious that people are going to have more problems with certain things than others, but you don't know how you're going to feel. You don't know how you're going to react to things until you're in it. And that's definitely the kind of thing I've learned in the last week, last 10 days. I've definitely been in that mood. But it's also to acknowledge it as well, because I feel like I say, the whole of social is just a highlight reel, and no one really tells the truth about these things, and that's all I'm trying to do here.